In this series, I'm comparing two metallic paints that have a lot in common, but also some noticeable differences. Let's begin with warm tone gold acrylic paint, specifically iridescent bright gold by Golden Fluid Acrylics versus the world's goldest gold by Stuart Semple. I'll be painting each acrylic on 4 different papers: mineral paper, Tyvek, 100-pound cardstock, and heavyweight printmaking paper. I'll include the full details of each paper I use down below. While I tape up the paper, here's my plan. I'm dividing each page into 2 sections, one for each paint. Each section will have 3 parts, showing how the paint looks with 1 coat, 2 coats, and 3 coats. Let's get into it. I'm starting with iridescent bright gold by Golden Acrylics, and I'm trying to use as little water as possible. The mineral paper's extra smooth surface makes it easy to spread it thinly and mostly evenly. Tyvek makes brushing the paint on relatively smooth, with a bit of resistance from the unevenness of the fibers. With the cardstock, I need more water to get the paint to spread out, as this acrylic is a bit too thick to create the smooth strokes I want. I need the most water for the printmaking paper. Brushing it on without much water gets too dry too quickly to get an even coat. I wait 1 minute of drying time and then apply the second coat, which is quite easy on the mineral paper. Even, smooth, and precise. It's a similar experience on the Tyvek, and slightly easier to apply than with the first coat. The cardstock and the printmaking paper are both totally fine to get a smooth, even finish on the second coat. One more minute of drying time, and I'm on to the third coat. With each paper on this round, I've been impressed with how quickly the paint sets down and accepts a third coat without disturbing the previous paint layers. I was a little worried that the mineral paper and Tyvek wouldn't do well, but they did. Rinsing the brush and moving on to the world's goldest gold by Stuart Semple, a much more liquidy paint that puts down a sheerer coat on the mineral paper. And a similarly sheer layer on the Tyvek, with a little more patchiness than I'd like. The cardstock is mostly fine, but as I move the paint around, it seems to collect unevenly, leaving a lot of streakiness. With the printmaking paper, it's a different story. Maybe because of its slightly rough texture, it really holds on to the paint, making it much easier to get a smooth and even coat. After a minute of drying, coat number 2 goes on without much trouble on the mineral paper and the Tyvek. You don't need much paint on either for an even layer. The second coat really helped to cover the streakiness of the first layer on the cardstock, and there were no issues at all getting a smooth, even second coat on the printmaking paper. 1 more minute of drying, and coat number 3 went on without a hitch on the mineral paper, smooth and even. Tyvek was another story. This was the first time I painted that I lifted off previous layers of paint, creating a bit of a streaky mess. I did the best I could to lightly smooth on new layers, with only middling results. Both cardstock and printmaking paper took the third coat with no issues. Let's get rid of the tape and see how the paints compare. The golden acrylic is a much more vibrant, almost orangey gold color, while the Stuart Semple acrylic is more subdued and approaching a beige undertone. Both paints are somewhat streaky on the mineral paper, particularly with the first layer. But the second and third layers of the golden acrylic really cut down on the visible streaks. The shimmeriness is evenly distributed on both paints, but I would say the golden looks like it reflects more light in comparison to the subtler sheen of the Semple. On the Tyvek, compared with the golden, The streaks are much more visible with the Semple acrylic, particularly on the third layer section. Both paints look slightly less vibrant on Tyvek compared with the mineral paper, and to my eyes, both of their shimmeriness looks more subdued. On the cardstock, the golden has fewer visible streaks with each layer than the Semple, and overall much more even and smooth coverage. And the cardstock brings a higher level of light reflection and color intensity to both of the paints. On the printmaking paper, the Semple acrylic really shines here. The streakiness we saw on the other papers is reduced, and I think it's even a bit better than the golden acrylic on this paper. Both paints are really throwing off a lot of shimmer, and it looks to me like the printmaking paper makes the light reflecting off each paint similar, bringing the shimmer level of the Semple acrylic very close to the golden acrylic. Overall, the golden acrylic is more orangey warm-toned gold and more opaque. It works well on all of the papers, but seems to get a better grip on the non-porous surfaces of the mineral paper and the Tyvek. The Semple acrylic is a slightly more neutral, warm-toned gold and is more translucent. Streakiness and patchiness were a bit more of an issue on the mineral paper, Tyvek, and cardstock, while the printmaking paper brought out the best in this acrylic. Well, that's it for this Versus. I'd love to hear your experiences with these paints in the comments below, and let me know what projects you've used them on. I would truly appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to this channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.